To those of you that are of the opinion that President Biden indicted or was responsible for the indictment of former President Donald Trump, I ask that you think about these important points. Number one, we must remember that the indictment was handed down in Florida by a grand jury. We must remember that that the state of Florida is a hardline Republican conservative state. We must also be aware that the makeup of the grand jury, the possibility of it being Republican, majority conservative is very, very, very likely, more than it be majority liberal, given the political makeup and population of the state of Florida. So we have to be aware of these factors and also take into consideration that there must have been something in the evidence and the case that was presented to these jurors, the majority of them very likely conservative, and whatever was presented must have convinced them in one way or another that Trump was guilty, or that Trump was more likely guilty, and that it was worth handing down the indictment. I encourage you to examine these points very carefully before making a judgment. Simply because you have to understand that if this would have been handed down in Washington, then the likelihood of people saying, "Oh, this was a liberal grand jury," would have been more credible. But this is a grand jury that was made up of conservatives. Most likely, the majority of them, we don't know for certain. But these are interesting points that you need to think about before coming to an assumption such as that.